on Property On Traxx. So it's going to be really fun. We've got Gunaprasath Bupalan with us. He's our property guru, the executive director and editor of MJ Communications. Welcome back, Guna.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
How have you been?
It's alright. It's quite a gloomy Friday morning.
Is it?
Yeah.
Was it raining in the middle of the morning?
It didn't. Maybe earlier in the morning.
Maybe.
Yeah, but it wasn't raining earlier. But it's just a little gloomy and dark, and it's one of those days where you just want to stay in bed and sleep. And
but the day must still go on, right?
Yep. Correct.
We're slowly wrapping up the first half of 2019 already.
Yep.
And it's already like towards the end of June, and
So
before you know it,
fast.
July is coming in.
It's too fast.
Well,
time is passing too fast.
It's ridiculous. So, I mean, especially since we are at the midpoint of the year, I guess there are some things that we could look into when it comes to property purchasing and whatnot. But today, we're focusing on Strata Living. So, it isn't for everyone. For those who are not familiar, Guna, could you explain what is Strata Living?
Well, in a nutshell, a residential strata environment is one where homeowners choose to be all in, where there is a common vision for the whole community, enforced by strata bylaws and rules, and can include all kinds of restrictions, such as age. Maybe it could only be for adult living, or pets, types and how many types of pets are allowed, and what kind of pets are allowed, how many pets are allowed. Minor renovations like bathrooms, kitchens, garage conversions, rentals, how many units can actually go on rent, how long can you go on rent, and to whom can you actually rent it out to. Seasonal deco, timelines of putting up and taking down deco, smoking, including on balconies, patios, and some other cases as well. It's all regulated by rules. For instance, living in a condominium.
Right.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. Just so you know, breaking the rules is a strict no-no when it comes to strata living. As a former JMB vice president, I would highly recommend reading the bylaws and rules and a minimum of 2 years worth of meeting minutes before making an offense.
So you actually have to have a little bit of a meeting before making an offense. Wow, okay.
Yes, definitely. not have a meeting. Read the minutes from the meeting.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And what happens if someone actually breaks the law?
Well, all bylaws and rules are governed by the Strata Management Act. And everything you could ever want to know about the strata housing can be found in the Strata Act 757. Just Google it. Strata Act 757. In the case, if the case is taken to a strata management tribunal, you could be punishable by law. Right? The number of filed cases at the Strata Management Tribunal, or also known as SMT, has increased over the years since the tribunal was formed in July 2015. This means that problems faced by strata living is on the rise. Right? Since the SMT was established, it has recorded about 10,000 cases, or an average of 2,500 cases per year.
Wow.
In 2017, there were 4,390 cases, while in the first half of last year, the number of cases reached 2,355 cases. A majority of the cases were related to maintenance fee collection, which is a norm.
That is usually in most apartments, condos, and they usually put up a notice on the notice board with all the people who haven't paid this stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, blacklisted,
Yeah.
The legal definition of strata is title in a prescribed part of a building with a tenant in common interest in the common areas. That's the scientific term behind it. By the way, residential stratas are way more than just condominiums. They can include duplexes, townhouses, vacation properties, even single family homes such as strata subdivisions. There are also commercial, industrial, and even mixed use strata titles, including hotels, marinas, offices, parking lots, and restaurants.
Okay, so who would be happy living in a strata?
Well, residential strata living is definitely for those who enjoy living in peace and quiet. But it's not always suitable for those who don't like rules, as it comes with lots of rights, but lots of responsibilities as well. It's like Spider-Man. With power there comes
Great
good responsibility. Strata's success definitely depends on the ability of all the owners to get along and work together, making decisions that are in the best interest of the community.
I see.
Yeah? There is a ton of information available online about strata living. My advice would definitely be to educate yourself, as it's completely different from living in a regular home.
Okay.
Right? Even though this is your home, the JMB or Joint Management Body can make decisions that may affect your day-to-day living. Right? Another piece of advice would be to be an owner who gets involved. Run for council to join this JMB. Serve on the committee. Right? And be active part of your community. Right? So much can be said about strata living. It isn't for everyone, but I personally love it. Right? I like the consistency of rules and regulations, and everything looks nice for many years ahead because it's maintained. You know, like many others, I'm not a fan of looking at crazy flags hanging from windows, clothes draped over the balconies, broken down vehicles sitting for years in someone's driveway, right? Or living next door to someone with 5 gigantic cats or dogs.
That's very, very true. I mean, sometimes it does play a massive factor when someone says this building is pet friendly, but then there's got to be some kind of limitations to it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you can't stop everyone from having pets. You know, it's almost impossible. But if you're living in a community, you should have that civic conscience as well. You know, don't have pets. If you really want a pet, get a goldfish. It doesn't make noise.
The easiest maintenance, right? And I guess some of these guidelines would really help with the whole strata guidelines. But when we come back in a bit, we'll try to check out what you need to know before embarking on a strata purchase. We're going to take a short song break for now. When we come back, we'll get into the whole idea of strata, whether strata living, if it's for everyone or not. In the meantime, short song break right now. Kiara, L is a bad word. Traxx FM.
Okay. Hey, how's it going? This is the morning show with Diyana and BK. It's Property on Traxx with Guna right now, and we're talking about strata living. Now, continuing on the question, what do we need to know before embarking on a strata purchase?
Well, there are several things to look out for, yeah? This checklist should help, right? Number 1, is the building well maintained? Right? Definitely a very, very important criteria here. Secondly, are there any assessments coming up, like plumbing or roofing or window cleaning and so on and so forth? Is the JMB stable, right? Is there a change of members within a year? This could be a red flag, yeah? you look at the JMB, has it been, in the last 3 years, have they been the same JMB, or has everyone changed over the last 3 years?
If there has been a lot of change, does that mean...
That means that the JMB can't handle
it's not even stable themselves?
It's not stable themselves, right?
Right.
If they were stable, they should be there for at least 2 years or 3 years, because the maximum term is 3 years. Right? But if every year is different JMB, something must be wrong somewhere. I'm not saying it is, but it could be wrong somewhere, right? Does the JMB meet regularly and maintain all the minutes? Very important. You can request for minutes. What are the minutes that you had in your last meeting? You can request for it. Because remember this, if you're living in a strata title, you're not just a person who's living in that building. You're a stakeholder of that building.
Right.
Because you own part of that building. The JMB also owns part of the building because they are residents as well. But they are not governing you. They are there on a voluntary basis to help out the condominium. It does not mean that they are the bosses and you are not. Actually, by right, everyone there are bosses because you're all stakeholders of the strata title. So you're entitled to things like this.
Okay.
So if you request for the minutes, it should be given to you with no excuses.
Some apartments and condos, they already put up the minutes on the notice boards as well.
Most of them do.
Okay.
After every meeting, they put the minutes up,
Okay.
which is a good thing, and that should be followed.
All right.
Right? What are the bylaws and rules? Check for pets. What are the rules for pets? Check what's the rental rules. Check what's the smoking rule. Why I keep emphasizing on the smoking rule is because it is very, very wrong to be smoking in public.
Yes.
It's very wrong to be smoking on your balcony and flicking your butt over your balcony your balcony. It falls into the next house below.
Right.
You know, things like that. So check on the rules, right? What are the strata fees in the sense of maintenance fees, and what do they include, right? What is the contingency fund, or also known as a sinking fund? What's the reserve there? Check. Ask them for the accounts. See whether you have a proper sinking fund. Because when you pay a maintenance fee, a certain portion is taken out of the maintenance, a certain percentage is taken out of the maintenance fee, and it goes into the sinking fund. Now, the sinking fund can only be touched and used for structural defects, including painting the building. Right? So double check. There must be a reserve fund.
So in a way, the sinking funds is related to the maintenance fees as well?
You only pay one fee.
Okay.
You only pay the maintenance fee, but they take a
chunk of it.
percentage of that. I think it's 11%. They take a percentage of the maintenance fee and it goes into the sinking fund.
Right.
But a lot of time, it's not done. It's not taken out and put into the sinking fund. So the sinking fund becomes very, very small. And if you have a structural defect, you can't use the maintenance fee to pay for the structural defect. It's against the law.
Only the sinking fund.
Only the sinking fund.
Okay.
And if you don't have enough in the sinking fund, you can't rectify the problem. And they're going to have to ask residents to contribute, pump in more. So double check on that.
Okay.
Right? What kind of parking is available for residents and visitors? Okay, double check on this, especially visitor parking. Right? Many a time when there are not enough visitor parkings to a strata title, visitors who come in tend to park in your lot. You know, and it's very, very inconvenient. I've gone through this before. It's very inconvenient, especially when you're in a rush. And the car is blocking you, and there's no way to get the car away. Right? What exactly are your rights and responsibilities? Find out as well.
All right. Now, what if the GMB is playing parts? As a strata owner, what should we do? Should we file a complaint at the tribunal?
Where does one go to actually find help for this?
JMBs are going to hate me for this, right? No, but JMB, the JMB, the committee of the JMB should always know that they're there to help. Right? Remember that. No one forced you onto your position. It's a voluntary position. You go for an AGM, you're voted in. If you don't want the responsibility, say no. It's that simple. But if you take on the responsibility, you've got to fulfill the responsibility, right? And you're representing the rest of the stakeholders. You're not there to govern the rest of the stakeholders. Always remember that, right? Now, for strata property owners who find themselves mired in problems related to strata living, filing complaints to the SMT should be their last resort, all right, as they could seek the help of the Commissioner of Buildings first, the COB, right? For example, when a management company fails to be formed during an annual general meeting, the COB could step in to appoint a managing agent to handle issues related to the property's management. right? The COBs are appointed by district and city councils like the Kajang Municipal District, the MPKJ, and Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, and they are tasked to regulate the MC and the JMB, Management Committee and Joint Management Body. Right? The power and duties of the COB include enforcing the provisions in the SMA, Strata Management Act, as a record keeper of all the audited accounts, AGM minutes, and the additional bylaws by the MC and JMB, as well as a trustee to the Common Property Defect account. Right? When dealing with stubborn owners who refuse to pay maintenance fees and service charges, the COB could also step in by serving notices to the defaulters. Besides a notice, take note, besides a notice, the COB also has the power to investigate and the power to seize movable properties for those who refuse to pay their maintenance fee.
Wow. Okay, so the Commissioner of Buildings actually has a lot of power in a way.
A lot of power. They can seize your movable property. That means they can go into your unit and take your couch, take your television,
whatever
take your fridge,
worth that you've not paid for,
which you've not paid for.
Whatever.
For cases that could not be handled by the COB, such as to remove the entire JMB or MC, property owners will need to bring the case to the SMT.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, it's really, really unfortunate that we are super short in time to talk about it. But what is the bottom line for all of this?
Well, the JMB is responsible for the management of the building or buildings, and you as an owner form part of the corporation, right? You absolutely have to be informed and stay involved. The National House Buyer Association, which you could Google as well, HBA, also provides useful information regarding strata living and home buyer rights. I suggest you check it out.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Guna. So we were talking about Strata Living, and if you have any more questions, you could actually just leave it on our Traxx FM official Facebook page. We are live right now, and we're just having a chat. We're still here, and if you have any questions that you'd like us to ask Guna, we can get him to answer it next week.
Yes, and if you've missed out anything from today's episode, you can always check it out once again at Traxx FM official. The video will be up in a couple of minutes, and you can also leave any comments there. We'll be back same time, same place next week as well.
Definitely. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Guna. Always a favorite.
In your car. In your home.